Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be reading 1-star reviews of my favorite books, which is something that I actually did on TikTok once before, on my old account before it got banned. But now I'm going to be doing it on YouTube this time. I just have to wait for Goodreads to load. I might have to do this entire intro over again if it doesn't load, because then I'd have to go inside. But I don't really want to, because I don't know. I just decided at last minute that I wanted to do the video out here because it's nice out here and just like a change of scenery, because I do everything in my room. And I've only filmed 2 YouTube videos in here ever, so I just wanted to do that. And when I'm reading these reviews, there might be points where I like try and predict what the reviews are going to be about, because since I'm so involved with Booktok and like in it, I kind of already know what kind of things get said about these books negative, so I kind of know what to expect, but we'll see. I was about to say, why did the thing like start loading over, but that's because I refreshed the page. I got it to load, and just to warn you, most of these are going to be books in series because those are just my favorite books. I don't like standalones as much. Like, there are some really good ones, and they might be in this video. It depends on what I decide to do because I don't exactly know yet, but it's just going to be mostly series. And we're starting with Twisted Love because this is the first like series of books I read. The other ones I was just reading standalones before that, so this is very exciting. And I know this book gets a lot of hate for a number of things because people think the plot is stupid and hate Alex, and like I understand the plot is all over the place and Alex, what he did wasn't okay, but I'm still an Alex Volkov girl anyways. Twisted Games is my favorite though. Oh dear. So this one is very long and it has a lot of different gifts in it, so, and this is the top one. Oh boy, let's go. Let me hype myself up before I write this one. Another absurdly overhyped book. Everyone tells me the series is good and the later books are better. I don't doubt it. I don't think Anna is a bad writer. Her writing is tolerable and sometimes even enjoyable. Can't say the same thing for her characters. Nothing in this book or even its cover are congruent. Anna thought it would be fun to attempt every single trope in the history of the universe with a single story. Like, I get that. Like I said, the plot is all over the place. That's like what makes it good. So you can't really tell if this is a rom-com, a dark romance, or just a joke. I believe it is technically in the dark romance category, but it's just like very little, like it isn't that dark. Like I've seen some people say that if you want to get into dark romance, the Twisted series is a way to like do that, and it's kind of a beginning dark romance. You get brother's best friend, neighbor, nightmare tropes, who did this to you, my parents died or tried to kill me, ex-psycho boyfriend, billionaire CEO who doesn't date, grumpy sunshine, family members who want to steal your money, and not a single one of these were executed properly. I honestly felt like I was watching a Spanish telenovela. However, I have to mention the best trope of all. The one that brought tears to my eyes, the I'm not like other guys, but I will talk exactly like Christian Grey every time I get the chance. So he kinda is like one guy. Didn't Anna Hong like actually compare Alex to Christian Grey? Like him and Christian Harper both? I feel like she did, right? Isn't like him actually based off of Christian Grey, or am I making that up in my head? But I swear that was a thing, I thought. Anyway. Oh, I'm not reading all of this. I'm just gonna read a little bit more because it's even longer than I thought. Like I'm scrolling down and it's insane. Okay, let's get down a little bit. It is like I'm reading the worst Tinder bio ever written, but yet quite possible to exist out there somewhere. The bio under some guy named Ray who lives in Florida and is a Republican who hates women. He also says people feared him at 11 because his parents were killed and he swore revenge. It's like a Wish version of Batman, except Batman is actually cool. Oh, that's kind of funny. Like, the comment I just read was funny, but this next thing is Funny too, he apparently had a therapist after his parents died. Someone please go take that guy's license because it obviously didn't work. Okay, that's so funny. I was gonna put screenshots on the screen, but since this one is so insanely long, it's not getting a screenshot. But the rest of them will. I'll try and find shorter ones. Here we go. I am on the 1-star thing, by the way. I was gonna give this 2 stars, but then this man started singing, and it was as if Merriam-Webster took on a physical form to redefine cringe in the dictionary as Mariana Moore's visual reaction to Alex Volkov singing in front of an audience, with a photo of my unconscious body and my spirit hovering over me, crying tears of secondhand embarrassment. You know what? Like, I understand you. Because that singing was really random and weird, but I also, like, it was funny. And if they cut it out of the TV show, I would actually be upset. So, I don't know. Then there's this one. All it says is, people who said this book was good lied. And that just kind of reminds me of what Mariana said in her video she did with Larry on, I don't remember whose channel it was on. I think it was on Mariana's, but they were reading 1-star reviews. And it was on, I don't remember which book they were reading the review on, but it said like the same thing on like people on Booktok lied to me, and I kind of agreed with her, because she basically started talking about how she doesn't like that phrase because it doesn't make any sense, because it's not that you were lied to, it's just that they have different taste in books than you. So that's like my thought process on that comment as well. To a potential future kidnapper. Want to torture me? Make me reread this. Alright, let's just read a couple more. Alex Volkov, I want you behind bars. Kissy face. Fair enough. You know what? Yeah. Alright. Looks like that's all I'm going to do for this one. I'm going to do Twisted Games next. And then I'm going to be done for the Twisted series, and the only reason I'm doing Twisted Games is because that one is my favorite in the series. This one is kind of perfect to me, so I'm not really sure what people are going to be complaining about. But let's do the first comment again. It's a little long, but not super outrageous like the other top comment, and I'll actually include a screenshot this time. This book makes me rage. Reese has got to be the most boring character ever written. Personality, non-existent. Bland, boring, insanely annoying. Present, and present. I didn't feel the tension between them at all. The story itself is just so uninteresting that it took me months just to read halfway through. That's kind of crazy. It took me like 2.5 days. He is just dirty talking all the time. They do more than actually loving. I mean, fair enough. That's kind of the entire series, though. It's not slow burn. The time jumps was an insanely stupid thing to add. It was all show and no tell. So we're just supposed to imagine sexual tension and build up in those 2 years of him being her bodyguard. Okay, I can see that. Because I read this series a while ago. I read it in January of 2024. I technically started in December at the very end. So, but I do remember there being a lot of time skips, and it was like you blinked and it had already been 2 years since he became her bodyguard, and that's when things actually started happening. So I kind of understand. And then it has this quote. Reese, I don't get involved with clients. Also Reese, instantly in love and hard for Bridget after seeing her for 5 seconds. This book is just one huge joke, nothing special about Bridget either. So much anger inside me right now because of this. Would not recommend. Sorry to everyone who actually enjoyed this. I didn't find anything to enjoy about this. I actually don't forgive you. She said that she was sorry, but I don't forgive you. Haha. I'm hilarious, actually. Again, I see another comment where somebody's saying that people on TikTok are liars, so. And then there's this one. Why does every Booktok book read like a 12-year-old's first time publishing a story on Wattpad? Which, I definitely wouldn't say it's every Booktok book. Well, this was in 2021. I wasn't on Booktok back then, so I feel like that probably checks out. But I see where they're coming from with this one, but I also love Wattpad books, and I will eat them up every single time, so I can't really say anything about that. Like, I will defend Wattpad books forever. Just watched Princess Diaries 2 for a better experience. That one I find kind of funny because Anna Hong based part of Twisted Games from Princess Diaries, or she didn't base it, but she said like she had just finished rewatching all of the movies when she started reading Twisted Games, and that's why they seem so similar. Let's read one more. I'm Free. This was the worst book I've ever read. I hated every single thing about this book. It's unnecessarily long. I wasted my time. I should have DNF'd this as soon as I started reading it. Y'all lied when you said this is better than the first one, because no, baby, it's not. In Twisted Love, you can feel how Alex is falling for Ava. Meanwhile, in Twisted Games, I literally can't feel the love between Bridget and Reese, which is weird, because I feel like it was kind of the opposite. Reese's entire personality is being a jealous and possessive asshole. I hated him. He's the worst book boyfriend ever, bro. I'm not joking. Mr. Larson didn't even have a character development. He's so boring. I hated him. Bridget, I really like her. I have nothing against her. She just wasn't my favorite, and I was really excited for her character, but she wasn't for me. I enjoyed and appreciated Ava and Alex's story way more. I hated Alex in his own book, but loved him in this one. That's actually kind of real. Like when I say I'm an Alex Wolkoff girl, I mean more so how he was acting in other books rather than his own. Like I liked him in his book too, but in other people's books, even more. I don't know what it was. I gave this 1 star because of Jules and Stella and Christian. If it weren't for them, I'd give it 0. Crazy. Worst book I've ever read, but I'll continue the series for Jules and Stella and also for Ava because I love her. See, I strongly disagree. I don't really even know what to say, but like, hold on. How can you hate this book when the press conference scene exists? Like, it's been 1.5 years and I'm still not over that scene, and I still think about it like every single day. Because what do you mean? She got up on the stage and was like, I know that the rumors that I'm in a relationship with my bodyguard were claimed as false, but I'm here to tell you today that it's actually true, and we're still together, and I'm in love with him. And then the entire audience gasps. What's not to love? And it gets even better, because then she goes backstage, and her and Reese kiss, and the picture of them kissing goes on the projector for the entire audience to see, and it was adorable. And even better, later, when they were in her room on the couch, watching the poll where they were like trying to see if they were going to be able to stay together or not because they were trying to get the law changed, and it had this big suspense when it got down to the last vote, and they were like, the guy who was doing it was like unraveling the last piece of paper as like the tiebreaker to see if the law was going to change or not, and her and Reese were sitting there and they were like, please, please, please. And then the piece of paper said yes, that they should change the law. And they both started jumping up and down in excitement and into each other's arms. How is that not the cutest thing that you've ever seen in your entire life? Anyway, we're gonna move on to the off-campus series now. I don't know which one I want to do. I'm pretty sure I did the deal in that TikTok video though, so we're actually going to move on, and we're gonna do not the gram effect, but hold on, I don't know what to do because I'm pretty sure I did like all of my favorite off-campus books because I did the gram effect too. Did I just do it again? I'm gonna do the gram effect again because that was my favorite book until I read Boys of Tommen. Like for 5 straight months it was my favorite book until I started reading Boys of Tommen in October, and then it changed. And then Luke Ryder was my #1 book boyfriend until I met Mr. Joey Lynch, and my life changed forever. Just kidding, actually, because the gram effect was having a hard time loading, so we're gonna skip that one for now, and we're moving on to Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie, which is the 6th book in Addicted Calloway, and I'm skipping straight to that one because Kiss the Sky and Thrive are my favorites, but I already did Kiss the Sky in that TikTok. So And also I was reading Hot House Flower when I did that TikTok, so all of the ones after that I hadn't read yet at the time. So we're gonna do some of the later ones. It was like a summary of Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower in one book and told from Lily and Lo's point of views. To be honest, I prefer the other two. It's like this one shouldn't even exist, not even Sorry. Which, I understand because that kind of is what it is, but the thing is, honestly, I'm not even going to be mad at you for this one because the only reason why I liked 5 so much and seeing their point of views of those 2 books and not getting bored or feeling like it was repetitive is because Lily and Lo are my favorite couple, and I just love them so much. That's literally it. But if I didn't like them as much as Connor and Rose and Reich and Daisy, and I just like those 2 couples more, then I probably would have had the same opinion, and it wouldn't have been a 5-star read. This one starts with a bit of a dramatic thing, and it's kind of long, but not really, so we're gonna do it. This book ruined my life. I can't think of any other book that has taken me this long to read in my entire life, and maybe it's my fault for listening to the recommended reading order and doing the Callaway books first. But this was one of the most boring things I've ever read. I already knew everything that would happen, so nothing was interesting, and yet the book was ridiculously long. This should have been maybe 200 pages at most. It was so repetitive and boring, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Lo literally relapses in this book. What do you mean nothing happened? That's another thing too, is that yeah, it was kind of repetitive at some points and just thriving Hot House Flower, but we also got to see that 1 year gap between Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower and see what happened there when we didn't before. So none of the books in this series are particularly good, but this one was worse than the rest. I don't recommend anyone read this, and the only reason I finished it was because it was all I had to read while in line at an amusement park. If you value your time or sanity, don't read this, please. At least they said please. Maybe read like a few chapters, but it really doesn't add much to the series. It's nice to see Lily and Lo's emotions, but I feel like the writers didn't want to have to tell us how they were feeling in the Callaway series, so they wrote this book instead. Well, it wouldn't make sense to write how they're feeling in the Callaway books because Daisy, Rose, Connor, and Reich don't know how they're feeling because they're not them. It was just genuinely so uninteresting. A character-driven book isn't interesting when you already know the path the characters are going to take. And I just didn't enjoy any part of this. I like Lily and Lo, but this book was unnecessary, and they could have told us the same things they did in this book with either a much shorter book or just using the other books in the series. Either way, I don't recommend reading this, even if you like the other books in the series. Maybe read a plot summary, but this was so not worth it. I just can't stop thinking about Lo relapsing in this book. I literally bawled my eyes out. No, but like during that entire thing, I actually felt like I was getting shot. Like, not to be dramatic or anything, but I felt like I was getting stabbed in the heart at one point. Because how do we go from Connor and Rose's wedding? That's another thing we didn't get to see before that it was good we got to see in this book. Like, there's so many things that we didn't see in the other ones that we got to see and thrive. So that's why it's necessary and not boring. But anyway. So they were having their first dance, everything was cutesy, and then Lily has that interaction with what's-her-face, I don't remember her name, but the stupid lady who like made articles and crap during Princesses of Philly, and like is saying all this nice stuff about Rose, and then Lily has this moment of realization in her head, and she's like, wait, Rose isn't getting backflash because of the sex tapes, but what about me? Why did I get treated so badly? And then she starts having a mental breakdown. She isn't talking to Rose for like weeks, and she isn't getting any sleep, and it's just like a big thing. Rose isn't getting any sleep either, and they finally make up, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out because it was so emotional. And then right after, I have to sit there and read about Lily and Lo reflecting on the 2-year anniversary of Lo being sober and being like, and Lo just being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been sober for this long. We're doing well. It's working. But knowing what you know because of Hot House Flower, that it doesn't last because he relapses, and then like 2 chapters later, you actually have to read him doing it and him being passed out on the floor and Lily finding him in the living room and Connor not being able to drive because his hand was shaking so much, and I literally just wanted to die. Anyways, I'm fine. Let's read one more. This one has a quote. And then he says with a broken voice, I'm never going to defeat this. Lo, I breathe, licking my dry lips. You're forgetting something. He exhales deeply. What's that? We're in Earth 616. This isn't an alternate universe. I clutch the phone tighter, tears falling. We're going to have our happy ending. It's just going to take us a little while to get there. Oh, this starts out good. That's nice. I can't even begin to explain how much I love Lily and Lo. Me too. And how proud I am. They fought so hard to be in that place during their recovery, though, with a few fallbacks. However, they don't know how strong they actually are. So true. They received lots of hate and negative comments from the media about themselves and their relationship, to the point I wondered how they could still hang on. Lo beating himself down and having constant guilt was the death of me. He always felt like he deserves all the shit he's been going through. God, you deserve all the happiness in the world. Don't you ever dare saying this. I'm so happy about the fact that they are finally able to consider the possibility of being good parents to their future child. I'm confused as to why this is a 1-star review. Literally nothing negative in it whatsoever, but it's still 1 stars, and I don't really get it. But let's move on. I'm gonna do some kind of perfect because I love that one, and I'm sure people probably, I haven't seen anyone saying this, but if I could assume just from reading it, I can assume that people probably thought that it was boring because it was mostly just them taking care of their kids. But I loved that. I don't know if it's just because I want to be a mom so bad or what, or because I just love the character so much and because it was a good build up to the Leica series. But I don't know, that's just why I love it, and there's some really good moments, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who hated that, so we'll see. We're starting out with a little bit of a longer one. This person actually DNF'd it, so DNF at 70%. I honestly cannot force myself to read any more of this book. It's actually making me hate reading, which is not a path I want to start down. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but this is without a doubt the most boring book I have ever read. Every single chapter made me want to DNF. I struggled throughout the series with the fact that these books have no plots. It's character driven. I had no idea they could actually have any less plot, but this one proved that to be a case. This is an entire 650-page book of pregnancies. There we go. Out of the chapters I read, I would guess 90% of them involved either someone discussing having a kid, getting pregnant with a kid, finding out they're pregnant, or actually having a baby. I was so bored, and we just jumped from random time points here and there so we could get all of these moments. I mean, I didn't see it as a negative thing, but at some points I did kind of feel like I was getting whiplash from the amount of time jumps, because what do you mean we start at 2018 and then by the end of the book it's 2028? It takes a lot for me to DNF a book, and it takes even more for me to actually believe reading a book is wasting my time, but this one is. I had to force myself to get through every chapter of this one, and at no point did I find myself wondering what was going to happen next, because I already knew since it's in the long way down epilogue. The rating this book has baffles me, and the only reason I think it's so high is because most people who wouldn't like this book were smart enough to DNF much earlier in the series, leaving all the ratings for this one to the super fans. Overall, my only takeaway is I really wish I had DNF'd sooner. So yeah, pretty much what I was expecting from that review. See where they're coming from, but I don't know. I obviously don't agree because I love the book. I don't get all of the gushing reviews. I stuck with this series because I'd already invested time in it. I hoped it would get better over time, but nope, for me it just feels like a very long series of shallowness, pointless F-bombs, and poorly timed sex scenes. You know what? Okay. And then there's just a lot of people being like, oh my gosh, I'm finally done with the series. And I was just like, why did you continue reading? Anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna read for this one because it's mostly just the same thing. But I'm gonna go on a kind of rant again, and I'm just gonna say, how can you hate this book? How can you hate this series? There's so many good quotes. Like, this book literally ends with Lo saying, and then we end. We end right where we started, just us, all 6 of us. And I literally want to cry every time I think about it, but that doesn't make you happy. And Boys of Tommen, I was supposed to be doing this in order of when I read them, but that's not working. And I'm just going to go ahead and do Releasing 10 because I did the other books in that TikTok. I'm kind of scared to do Releasing 10 though, because the hate that it gets on TikTok actually makes me so mad. Because Because if you don't know, it's people basically just complaining about how it's too graphic and how it shouldn't be marketed as YA and stuff, which wasn't Chloe Walsh's fault. She said that. And it's also just really annoying because Chloe Walsh wrote this based off of her life. That's why it's so graphic. She was taking her memories and putting it on a page. And even after she said that on Facebook and Instagram, people still continued to hate on it and say the same things. And it's just, I don't know. It makes me really mad. Luckily though, I'm mostly on the side of Boys of Tom and TikTok where people aren't really saying that stuff. So I haven't seen that much of it, but I know it's still out there. My review got deleted, so I'll keep this short. Maybe it got deleted for a reason. This is supposed to be a romance, and the way you're going about with these specific traumas is concerning. I don't want you to think it's necessary to have certain things written in such detail, in this case, child essay. Some things are meant to be fade to black, and some content within the book is absolutely one of them. Consider adding specific trigger warnings, and a dedicated trigger page is the content warnings. And the author's note is broad, brushed over, and not enough. How is this still YA? Kind of insane to dedicate this book for the survivors, yet you use the previous book main character, who is also a child essay survivor, as a plot twist for shock value. That's nasty. You're not bringing awareness for CSA. You are straight up writing trauma porn. I fear you completely missed the point of the entire series. It's to make people feel less alone and to understand that this stuff happens in real life. And I'm seeing somebody else say it's trauma porn. There wasn't even any sex in this book. They were kids throughout the entire thing. Like, the only thing was when she, spoiler warning obviously, but when she cheated on Huey with Pierce, like cheated on him, but she thought it was Huey, you know? Oh, then here's somebody who left a review before the book was even out, one of the Lizzie Huey haters, and they were like, I can already tell this book is gonna piss me off. Anyways, Katie Feely forever. I love Katie and Patrick too, it's okay. Oh, here we go. More Lizzie haters. Why are we giving attention to a horribly bully and a cheater? I wish Chloe would just scrap the book and give us the Claire and Gypsy book we deserve. Hey, so actually this book was supposed to come out first, but then Chloe Walsh got pressured into writing Taming 7 first by her publisher, so yeah. But we are getting a second Claire and Gypsy book, actually. She said on Facebook that she finished writing it, so gotta have patience. I'm gonna try and do a standalone book now. Hold on. I think I'm gonna do Betting on You by Lynn Painter, maybe. Wait, did I do Betting on You? Why do I feel like I did this? I don't think so. No, I did Hate Mail, maybe. I think. I don't care. If I did do Betting on You, we're doing it again. The TikTok isn't up anymore anyways. Updated 1-star rating because I actually hated this book. But if you loved it, I'm happy for you. I wish I loved this one like you did. Well, I'm glad you're happy for me. Not so sadly. I've decided that Lynn's books aren't for me. Don't worry, this was a decision based on my many factors. But I always express my dislike for them through horrible fear-inducing quotes from her books about sex, though I have a theory that they're actually interpretations of Edvard Munch's The Scream. Betting on You... Okay, that's just a summary of what the book's about. Anyways, the first few chapters are flashbacks before Bailey and Charlie truly meet. Then they talk, bond, a whole ton of crap happens in this book with no connection. They had such a good connection. Charlie and Bailey fake date for no apparent reason while they both try to sabotage Bailey's mom's boyfriend, also place a bet about their friend's relationship, all while dealing with possible feelings and traumas. Wait, that was a pain to type out, let alone read. As you can see, the plot consists of nothing. That's right, nothing important happens in this book. It was such a good plot, though. It was so good. What do you mean? There were, however, 5 chapters of banter, 3 entire pages describing an incredibly passionate makeout session, and so many pop culture references, but no actual story. I love the pop culture references. That's my favorite part of Lynn Painter's writing, is the different references. I don't know. People complain about when, books mention things in pop culture and TikTok and stuff because it brings them back to reality, but that's almost why I like it. It makes the characters seem more real. I don't know. All the characters in this book were insufferable. I wanted to just punch some sense into them all. It is so bad. I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1. Also, Charlie Samson. What did Charlie do? Like, literally, what did he do? He didn't do anything, except for the thing that he did to Bailey at the end. That was annoying, but it's okay. We love him anyways. Okay. I'm gonna end it here, but first, with betting on you, I just want to say, like, obviously, you know I love the book, or else I wouldn't be in this video, but one thing that I feel like could be valid to complain about is the lack of Charlie point of view chapters we got. Like, there was so much of Bailey and not enough of him, and we should have gotten more of him. But that's, like, the only thing that I care about. So, that's just what I wanted to say before I end the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.